Apologies for being a little bit late. I had to restart everything. But we're here now. All right. Hi, hi. Hi, Emery. How are you? Okay. So, today's topic, why your coaching offer isn't selling. So please feel free to drop your questions and your comments into the chat. We can discuss them here live. Hey, back again. Yes. Or I'll respond to your comments as well. Okay. So let me know if you're part of the live crew or the replay crew. Let me know. Let me know. Hey, guys. Okay. So let's talk about how it all starts from the beginning, right? You decide that you want to become a coach or a consultant. So you research certifications and you find varying information about coaching, blah, 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 right? And let's say you go the certification route. You complete your certification. Now you're a coach. You've been taught like how to coach, how to conduct coaching sessions. Maybe they gave you some templates for some scripts, onboarding clients, scripts for your sessions, right? Oh, hey, Angela. And exercises you can do with your clients, right? Maybe you have your own frameworks that you want to use. Then you get your website together, social media handles, because everybody tells you it's what you got to do. You got to get on social media, right? Do it for the gram. Get on LinkedIn because you're a coach and that's where all the clients are. And that's what they all tell you, right? So that is how it all starts, right? How we all get to get to this magical place, right? You're posting that you're a coach, here are your services, but then no one's signing up. And you're thinking to yourself, self, I told everyone I was a coach and that I can help them with my coaching, but why is no one signing up, right? Well, the unfortunate part about this is that you may have been told like what to do, but not how to do it or why. So you're just doing things in the blind and you're hoping for the best and hoping that you'll get clients. Maybe you have 30-day coaching sessions, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever. Maybe it's longer than that. And you're inviting people to sign up for free discovery calls, free clarity calls, free strategy sessions, or maybe they're paid, master classes, all these things. And then what happens? They don't sign up for your program. Right? So if you've been coaching or consulting for any amount of time, you know that there are thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of coaches out there that are doing the exact same thing as you, right? And if all you're doing and saying the same thing, how is your ideal client going to actually tell you apart, right? If you're a life coach and you're marketing yourself as a life coach, you're probably saying that you're going to help people achieve some goals, break down some barriers, get unstuck, right? If you're a health coach, you're probably saying, I'll help you eat healthier, live a healthier lifestyle, maybe even if you're in the fitness niche, maybe get fit in 30 days or lose X amount of pounds in X amount of days, right? If you're in the relationship niche, maybe you're like, I'll help you have a better relationship or find a significant other. Business niche, make more money, have a profitable business, right? Hopefully, you guys get the idea and see where I'm going with this. So, there are a lot of schools of thought in the coaching industry about the best types of programs, how to coach people, how you get the best results. But one thing remains true: if you don't have a way to measure success with your clients or define what success looks like, then your coaching services will be subjective to whoever you work with, and there really will be no standard. So please feel free to drop your questions and your comments into the chat, definitely. And we can have a discussion about that. But you might be saying, well, isn't that the point? And the answer is no, no, it's not. So, as a coach or consultant, the whole point of you working with your clients is to be able to move the needle forward in whatever aspect that you are coaching them in, whatever aspect of your life that you're coaching them in, right? You want to move the needle forward. So, the value in hiring a coach is to see some type of result, right? And since this is your business, you need to establish a baseline for success, right? Everyone gets to determine their own journey, right? But as in any type of business, there has to be a standard and expectation. If we fail to set proper expectations as to what a successful engagement is going to look like in our coaching or consulting business, then it really makes it hard to determine whether or not it's a good idea to work with you, right? So you have to think to yourself, what are the outcomes and what are people achieving when they work with me? Are they getting results? Right? A lot of conversations that I'll have with coaches in reference to where their clients are, like when they first come to them, meaning when their clients first come, they're in different places. So it's hard for them to determine whether or not that person is a good fit for their program, and or they're not screening their clients to see if they're a good fit. It's just kind of like, oh my gosh, are you going to say yes to this program? Great, let's do it. So, which is not necessarily the best way to go about enrolling people in your program. This is where having a product suite comes into play, and having more than one product, so that if someone's not ready to work with you at the highest level, you have other options that may be suitable, right? So don't you want your ideal clients to be sure about working with you, right? So when it comes down to it, the truth of the matter is no one is signing up for your coaching program or consulting services for these 10 reasons. And I actually have more than 10, but I was like, let me just stop at 10 and then we can go from there. First is because they don't understand the outcome or know exactly what they're going to get. And number two, they cannot tell you apart from the next coach in your niche. Number three, you are trying to serve or talk to too many audiences, and so no one thinks that what you have to offer is actually for them. Number four, you're not messaging the solution to your ideal client's problem and capturing how they're feeling in the moment, right? Number five, you are messaging correctly, but it's a coaching offer that your ideal client doesn't want, meaning you didn't validate it. Number six, the time frame of your program doesn't seem realistic. Either it's too long or it's too short. Number seven, the pricing doesn't seem realistic. And I mean this in a sense of what will be accomplished. So low pricing doesn't mean better. And I'm a firm believer in you get what you pay for. Number eight, you are not screening your clients. So while you may be attracting clients all along your client spectrum, they just aren't ready to work with you at the highest level. They may be ready in a few months, but now it's just not the time, right? You have to set a minimum criteria for your program. You are still stuck in the fact that you can help anybody and everybody, right? So you still have not niched down. Number nine, you give your clients other options to work with you outside of your business model, meaning you have your prices set up, you got your program set up, but then as soon as someone says no, you offer them something custom. Why? Why? Just to get a client? This is where your boundaries come into play, right? These are the ways that you can work with me. This, right? There's a couple of options probably. If a client can't respect your program and price boundaries, they certainly will not respect your personal boundaries, right? So that also does devalue your program, right? You're kind of giving them an out. So if they truly came to you with this problem that you can genuinely help them solve, you are in fact enabling them to continue operating in the same mindset and in the same space by doing that, right? The first thing is to set boundaries, right? We have to start to walk towards success. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining. So I believe that if a person really, really, truly wants help with their problem, they will ask for help and choose a solution. But if they do nothing, everything is fine the way that it is, right? And they are content. That's what I truly believe. You can argue with me on this. As a matter of fact, I welcome it. Please, other perspectives as well. Like, you can definitely argue with me on this, but I've just seen it so many times. Like, you can't tell me you want help. You want to make more money, right? You want to have a business that replaces your 9 to 5, and then you don't do anything to make that happen. Please make it make sense for me, right? That means you are content with your current situation. You are content with feeling your way along, however long it takes you. You don't really care about that, how long it takes. That's not something that's like, it's not urgent for you. And you don't care if you end up spending more money in the long run because you're paying for bits and pieces of solutions. So when you tell me, no, it's not the case, that's not what it is, and I ask, well, tell me something or tell me what you're doing to move closer to your goals that's different than what you're doing right now, right? Like, listen to the question that I'm asking. And this is any niche. Tell me something different that you're doing to move closer to your goals. Like you're doing all the things, like you're telling me what you're doing, right? And I'm like, okay, so What are you going to do differently, right? If it's not going to be enrolling in your program, what are you going to do differently to move towards your goal? And the answer is usually nothing, right? Or they're just going to say, I'm going to do more of what I'm doing. So that's not different. That's just more of what you're doing right now, which isn't working, right? So if the answer is nothing, it's nothing, right? Number 10, you aren't confident in your own program. So you are explaining it in a way that maybe makes it seem like maybe your ideal client shouldn't sign up. It's like almost like imposter syndrome, like around who we are and how amazing we really are. Right. So I mean, look, and of course, social media will have you fooled. I tell people this all the time. Don't judge your beginnings or your middles against somebody, your beginning against somebody else's middle, your middle against someone else's, like they're like upper middle end, right? You are where you're supposed to be, right? So hopefully I'm making sense here, guys. Hopefully I'm making sense. So how do we fix this, right? How do we fix when no one's signing up for our coaching offer, right? A few steps to help you get on the right track and start having people line up for your coaching services. These are the exact steps that I actually use in my program, the Brand Builder Blueprint. Number one, develop clarity around your target market and your offerings, right? I know you've probably heard that 1,000 times, but like for real, like you really need to have clarity on your niche. If you haven't successfully marketed to one group of people, right? Trying to market to 3 to 5 different types of clients is not going to help you, right? You are going to be like, you're going to confuse your audience. Hey, right? So that's number one. Number two, develop a signature program. You need to stand out in your industry. Like the having the I sell anything product suite with a million options is really going to confuse your ideal clients, right? Especially if they all serve different audiences. There's not a logical progression to work with you more closely. Number three, develop sales funnels that continuously bring people into your brand community. People won't just automatically sign up to work with you, right? It's not how it works, not, at least not in the beginning. They have to see you and your brand at least 6 to 8 times before making a purchasing decision. So you have to have a way to continuously bring people into your ecosystem, right? So that you can continue to have a conversation offline. Number four, be visible. If people don't see you, don't hear from you, they're not going to know, like, and trust you, right? You can't just post on social media and then come back like 3 weeks later and be like, hey guys, I'm here. Hey. Well, who's that? It's like starting all over again, right? So be visible, be consistent, right? And consistency, I know, so there's a lot of different um, advice out there about what consistency actually means. My thing is, social media can be overwhelming, but whatever you do, be consistent at it. So if you're going to post 3 times a week, post 3 times a week. Don't post twice, 7, 5. Like, pick something that you can actually maintain and be consistent at. And then if it feels good and you're seeing traction, increase the frequency. Don't just be all over the place, right? So be consistent, but also too, find out what platforms your ideal clients are out, they're hanging out on, and maintain a consistent presence there. A lot of times we create our own chaos in the sense that, like, we've decided we're going to have like 10 social media accounts and our ideal clients are only on 1 or 2 of them. So it does you no good to just be on social media platforms just to be on them. Like, not as like a small business solopreneur still trying to build your coaching or consulting business up. That does no good. That's just like honestly, it's a waste of your time. You could put more energy into the platforms and places that actually work for you than just to say, I have this account, follow me here. Especially if you're not posting there frequently. It's like, again, I made this analogy before. It's kind of like if you're on a platform where your ideal clients are not, it's like playing a concert to an empty audience. You might do a bang up job with this concert, but they're not seeing or hearing you because they're not there. So be very cognizant of your time and what you're actually doing. And then number 6, make an offer. A lot of times we show up, we'll be consistent, we post, and we never actually talk about our products and our services. We're afraid. There's that fear there. So we never actually talk about like our coaching packages. We never actually talk about any of that. We just post inspirational quotes or just tell people to like follow us. and you don't tell people to like click on your link or anything. So you have to actually tell people what to do in order to take the next step. It's not intuitive for them. You have to tell them to take an action, also called a call to action. Hi. But please, guys, please feel free to drop your questions and your comments into the chat. Definitely would love to have a discussion around this. So hopefully I'm making sense with this. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to take a minute to look at comments and questions now that I may have missed. Thanks for joining, Angela. Thank you. I can't see who the second person is that's joined, but thank you so much for joining on Facebook. Core Inspiration says, yes, you're making sense. Thanks for your tips. Thank you. Guys, do you have any questions about that? Any questions what I've said so far? Okay, so let's recap real quick, just in case you missed the first part about why people are not signing up for your coaching offer, your consulting services. So I want to be clear. I narrowed it down to 10 things. I could definitely go on with this for a long time, but I think 10 things is good, right? For us to chew on and think about like what we can do to make better decisions in our business about how we structure our offerings. So the first thing is that people do not understand the outcome or know exactly what they're going to get. So I say this a lot. You can't just say, by signing up for coaching with me, I'm going to make your life better. What does that mean? Think about it from people's perspective, right? Even like you saying you're going to make my life better, for me means something different than Susie next to me. So what are you actually saying that we're going to do, right? Or that's going to take place? By the way, please do not use that as a outcome for your coaching, your coaching offer. Make your life better is not an outcome, right? Please don't use that. The second thing is they cannot tell your services apart from the next coach in your niche. Imagine all of y'all are out here saying you're gonna make someone's life better, and you're all offering like 4 sessions, right, a week at some, hourly rate or whatever that is. How do they know who to choose? It looks the same, right? Especially if they're just kind of all encountering you for the first time. How are you standing out? Right? Number 3, you are trying to serve too many audiences or talk to too many people, right? So everybody thinks that your offer is not for them, right? So with one, you have like all these offers, you're trying to talk to everybody, right? Talk to everybody, talk to nobody. Number 4, you're not messaging the solution to your ideal clients' problem, and you're not capturing how they're feeling in the moment. So you have to state what your ideal client is feeling in a way that they can understand and that resonates with them, not how you understand it, right? A lot of times we are stuck in industry terms, and what we know the problem to be is not what our ideal client thinks the problem is or how they would say it, right? So you have to be very in tune with your ideal clients so that you can say it to them the way that they are looking for it, right? Looking for the solution, rather. Number 5, you're messaging correctly. So maybe your messaging is good, but you're messaging a coaching offer that your ideal clients don't actually want, meaning you did not validate it. You did not make sure that this solution that you've put together is something that your ideal clients actually want. Maybe they want a solution to a different problem, right? Number 6, the time frame of your program or service does not seem realistic. Either it's too long or too short. And more often than not, I see people's coaching offers being too short because it sounds good. And what ends up happening is that you actually are not able to deliver the results in that short amount of time frame, right? I think probably the most tangible example of this is probably with a mindset coach, and you telling someone that you're going to change their mindset in 30 days. That really shouldn't be a program promise, I don't think, because people are at different stages. And if your client actually has some type of a mental illness, they may also need therapy. So 30 days may be enough. 30 days may not be enough. But like a lot of times we're our own first client. And if you had to go through a mindset shift and it took you 3 months, Why are you saying you're going to help somebody do it in 30 days, right? Because that's not actually the transformation you experienced. Hopefully I'm making sense with that. Hopefully I'm making sense. Like a lot of times we are coaching somebody through something that we've gone through. And yes, you may be able to shorten the timeline because now you know the steps, but don't make it an unrealistic timeline. I mean, if you want your clients to get results, if you want them to be happy, if you want them to refer people to you, you should make your coaching offer the appropriate amount of time, right? Not too little, not too long. Number 7, the pricing doesn't seem realistic. So, and most times, usually the price is too low, usually. And it's like, for what you're saying is going to be accomplished, it doesn't seem like this is going to be, like this price is enough, right? Sometimes it is on the high side. I mean, it just all depends. Again, that's why the anatomy of your offer is so important. Like, what are you actually doing? What are the outcomes? Number 8, you are not screening your clients. And so you are attracting clients who may be on your spectrum, but they are not ready to work with you at the highest level. Number 9, you give your clients other options to work with you outside of your business model. So the unpublished options, the customized options. Oh, okay, no, it's okay. We'll just do it. You just need this part of the program. We'll just do it here. And honestly, that does a disservice to your client and you, right? If that's not the structure that you set out, that's not in your business model, why are you going outside of your business model to get a client that's not respecting what it is, right? Listen, I tell the people this all the time. You cannot go into the grocery store, at least not in the US, and haggle the price of milk, right? You just buy the size that best fits you and your family. You're not going to say, oh, I want this gallon of milk for 60 cents because I just want this much of it. You buy the size that's appropriate, right? I don't know. Think about it in terms of like other brands, other products, other services. Like, if this is the solution, this is how it's packaged, this is what it is, this is the time frame, this is what it is. Don't allow people to negotiate you out of what's in your business model. Now, if there's data on that, like everybody's asking for something, maybe that would be a sign to take a look at your offerings and see if you structure it differently. But be standard and consistent in terms of how you structure things. Do not individualize packages if that's not what is available, right? Number 10, you're not confident in your own program. So you're explaining it in a way, or you're basically talking people out of signing up with you, right? I always tell people, do not judge your beginnings on someone else's middle, okay? So you're not believing in that you can provide those results. So that's coming out like on your sales calls and like, when you're explaining things, and people just are like, should I sign up? I don't know, right? You don't want to be in that space. So let me pause for any questions or comments. Oh, thanks, Angela. Appreciate you. So I can't see. Hello. Okay. So how do we fix it, guys? How do we fix it? To recap, these are the exact steps that I work with with my clients, because I'm really passionate about it, and I want people to get comfortable with structuring their offerings in such a way that supports a sustainable business model, right? You don't have to bend and break the rules every time you get a potential client just to sign them. It's kind of like, if that person has been following you, know, like, and trust you, they are either a good fit for your offerings or they're not, right? You want to have good data on your ideal client, and you can't do that if you continuously bend and break the molds for something you set in place. Does that make sense? Hopefully I'm making sense. Hello. Okay, so how do we fix it? Number 1, you have to develop clarity around your target market and your offerings. If you haven't successfully marketed to one group of people yet, market to one group of people. Stop trying to do 3 to 5 different types of people. You are confusing your audience. They are confused. They don't know what your offer actually is. And so now you are not collecting good data on your ideal client. Number 8, develop a signature program. I'm a huge fan of this, right? This is one thing that we teach. This is your high ticket offer in my program, because you need to stand out in your industry. What's the one thing you want to be known for? You don't want to be the person that's like, I'm selling everything to everybody coach, right? Because you are confusing your ideal clients. and you're not giving your ideal clients a logical progression to work with you in any type of way, shape, or form. Number 9, you want to develop a sales funnel to continuously bring people, or sorry, third thing, I'm like 9, no. The third thing is you want to develop a sales funnel to continuously bring people into your ecosystem, right? People have to see you at least 6 to 8 times before they make a purchasing decision, right? So they may have to see your brand, see your offer a few times before they're like, yes, I'm ready. The fourth thing, be visible. If people don't see you, don't hear from you, they're not going to know, like, and trust you. Especially the coaching and consulting industry is people to people. So people not being able to see you, I mean, I'm not going to say that you're not going to close anything. You know, it could just be that you're selling through a course and it's just your picture and you never show up. But I feel like people who have the highest impact show up for their clients, like on video, like a live, in the coaching session, they show up for them. Fifth thing, be consistent. Find out what platforms your ideal clients are hanging out on and hang out there. Maintain a consistent presence there. I just talked about how it doesn't make sense to maintain a presence on a platform where your ideal client is not. That's a waste of time. Okay. And then 6, make an offer. Actually make an offer periodically, whether it's in your stories, your feed, to your email list, make an offer, right? A lot of times we show up and we post and we never talk about our offer. we don't talk about it, right? It's like a secret. And we're just creating all this content and there aren't any calls to action, right? We never actually say, sign up for this, or, you know, I'm releasing my program. We never actually say it. So please make sure you're saying that. Are there any questions, guys? Any questions? I'm checking both places. What do you feel is an ideal time frame for a coaching program? That's a great question. Okay, so we got a question from Instagram. Core inspirations. What do I feel like is an ideal time? So I kind of went over, so touched on this a little bit. So I'm going to ask some clarifying questions. What are you coaching on? What is the transformation? This is okay. So this is great because this is one of my pet peeves where I feel like a lot of gurus will tell people your coaching program should be no more than 90 days, or it should be no more than 30 days, or you should only try to do everything in 12 weeks. Sir, ma'am, how do you know that? Like, what is the transformation that they are actually trying to teach? What are you teaching? So I guess to answer your question, it depends on what are the outcomes of your program. That's how you determine the time frame, right? And so if the time frame is feeling like it's too long, maybe everything that you're trying to teach doesn't go inside that program. That's another thing too about having a signature program is all of the material that's in there, is it too much? Like, you have to have a balance, right? You want your clients to be able to get results. You don't want it to be an extremely long time, but you also don't want it to be too short to where it's like, dang, the program should be longer, right? So I think it depends on what niche you're in. What core inspirations, what niche are you in? What are you coaching on? You can answer that for me. Because I think this is one of the things, we just pick a arbitrary time frame. Like, we just say, okay, it's going to be 12 weeks. Why is it 12 weeks? And then we try to, like, it's like you try to, like, fill up the 12 weeks with information, whether it's not there, or we try to cram too much information into a time frame that we arbitrarily picked. So what I would actually do is actually outline, once we do this in the program, in the Brand Builder Blueprint, is outline what you're teaching. And then from there, you can really determine what a good time frame might be. That's where my curriculum design comes in, guys. I'm like, listen, don't just pick a number. Student and professional development. Okay, so students like college students, or professional development for college students or adults, or something else? Or is it like student professional? Oh, wait, adults or college students? It's like, Okay, both college students and adults. Okay, got it. Okay. So I think here's where some research might come into play, and maybe this also is, based upon your own experience about how long it's going to take someone to learn the thing that you're teaching, because professional development can be an expansive topic and it comes in many forms, right? So professional development could mean anything from a course on leadership to an Excel class. All that could be considered professional development. So my question to you would be, what exactly are you teaching, or are you teaching people how to uh, administer professional development, or like the importance of it? Like, I think it just really depends on how long it's going to take them to learn and implement what you're teaching. So if it's one of those things where they have to do exercises, they have like homework like that they have to implement, all of that should be taken into consideration when you're putting together your coaching program curriculum. So how long realistically is it going to take that person to be able to do this? And like, think about college students and adults have completely different lifestyles, and maybe when they can have time to do certain things, right? I'm not trying to plan out anybody's life, but I would gather that adults have less time than college students to spend on something like this because they have other responsibilities. So it doesn't necessarily mean that's always the case, but typically it is. So it's kind of like, for a program like that maybe has similar outcomes, that might be a situation where there's two separate cohorts. Maybe there's adult cohorts and college student cohorts. So like, you keep the college students together, the adults together. They might have, depending on what you're teaching them, might have different timelines, because it might take adults a little bit longer. Not that they can't learn it. It's just, think about life challenges that may get in the way, that may prevent them from doing the homework, or how many hours can they realistically dedicate to your program. So I think, but coming to just like answering your question at a top level, what are you teaching them? Like, what specifically are you teaching them? I think that's where the time frame comes in. The specific things you're teaching, how long does it take to learn each thing? Like, really learn and implement each thing. That's the important thing. I think I see a lot of coaching programs that just pick a number out the sky for how long it takes. And honestly, people need more support, right? They need more support than that. It's an incomplete solution, right? I'm not in the business of delivering incomplete solutions to people. It's like, that does me no good, and it definitely does them no good, right? Like, if I tell you I'm going to help you build out your sales funnel from your high ticket offer down to your freebie, that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to make sure you have enough support to do that. That's not, it's not an overnight process. So I would never promise someone that they're going to be able to do that in 30 days. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad I could be helpful. So if you have any other questions, guys, please feel free to drop them into the chat. And if you're interested in learning more about how you can finally nail down your target market, get clarity on and validate your signature program, and attract your ideal clients on social media, then you'll definitely want to attend my live private training on Monday, March the 21st at 12 p.m. And in my training, I'm going to actually teach you my framework for creating a signature program with your zone of genius, right? Building out your sales funnels for your product suite that attract your ideal clients on repeat. So this event, does have limited space, and we're only accepting serious applicants who are actually ready to make that move or make that change in their coaching or consulting business and start making a wider impact on the lives of their clients, right? So if you're interested, click the link in the description of this live. If you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, you can click the first link in my bio, which is the Brand Builder Blueprint application link, and complete the short application to attend, so we can send you the invite. I'm just checking to see if we have any other last minute questions. Angela says, good information. Thank you. Any other questions, guys? Anything else? If you have other questions and you want to connect with me, then you can connect with me on Facebook at iSimplyShe, or on Instagram at I_simply_she. You can also catch me on all handles at Crystal Renee as well. But definitely, I would love to hear from you. And if today's live resonated with you, then definitely, and you found value, share with a friend or a business bestie. My goal is to help as many coaches and consultants as possible. And I want to start with us, creating offers, coaching offers, and programs that actually do make an impact, a transformational impact, right? And I want you to be able to reach as many of your ideal clients as possible. But it first starts with making sure we have a proper foundation in place and that we set our curriculum up in such a way that it's going to be able to make that impact that we really want it to, right? I think that's it, guys. I'm just checking in to see if there are any last minute questions. Not seeing any, but I appreciate you all. Thanks for hanging out with me. And like I said, hit me up if you have any questions. I am available. My back channel, that's not Clubhouse. My DMs, my DMs are open. So definitely make sure you hit me up if you do have any additional questions. And I thank you all for joining. And remember, you too can conquer if you slay hard every day.